Hey everyone, I'm Ellen here at eTrailer.com, and today we're taking a look at the Curt T-connector vehicle wiring harness. This is going to give us our 4-pole flat connector, and that allows us to tow a trailer with our vehicle and still have those lighting functions in our trailer. That way, if we're turning or we're coming to a stop, everybody's going to know what's going on behind us. So the 4-pole refers to the 4 functions of the lights, so that's going to be your stop, left turn signal, right turn signal, and also your running lights. So whenever you turn on the running lights in your vehicle, it'll still illuminate those lights in the back. When you hit the brake, they should brighten up, and then left and right turn. So that's what we're going to get out of this. You can also use an adapter to work with a 5-pole, 6-pole, 7-pole setup. Those are sold separately here at eTrailer.com if you want to get an adapter to work with the wiring on your trailer. You can also use this as the basis for getting a 7-pole wiring. So that's kind of a whole other thing, but there are options for you if you want to go down that road. As far as this guy goes, it is going to be a custom fit, so it will fit the following vehicles that you see on the screen there. And so that's the nice thing about this, is that we won't have to worry about cutting or splicing into our Nissan or our Mercury's wiring. It's just going to fit right in line with a factory plug. It's typically going to be found on the bottom of your Nissan. There's going to be a little gray plug. Just pop the connectors apart. You should be able to match them up with this connector here, plug this in line, and everything should be good to go there. If it's not underneath the vehicle, it's going to be back behind your bumper, so it just kind of depends on which vehicle you have, but should be relatively straightforward. That's really the only connection you need to make as far as going into the vehicle's wiring. You will need to make a ground connection, so just find a good chassis ground. Comes with a self-tapping screw, so you can find a nice piece of sheet metal or a stud, or anything else that might already be grounded, run that off of there. And then this wire is going to be our power. So they give you a nice bundle of bulk black wire to go up to your battery and connect there. So you'll connect here. That'll go to your fuse holder, provide fuse protection for your battery. So if anything should happen here, it's going to blow that fuse rather than everything else. So it's going to be protected at the battery, and then this box here is also going to protect our vehicle from any kind of backfeed from our trailer wiring into our vehicle. So it's double protected. We really don't have to worry about our vehicle wiring at all. Should be isolated from any kind of incidents should they occur. Again, this is going to be our 4-pole flat wiring. Comes with a dust cap to keep that protected. And a lot of people, if you have an SUV, they'll run this out the back hatch and then keep the bulk of the wire stored in there. If you are driving a truck like the Frontier, don't really have that option, but you can mount this to the bumper, or to the hitch. And to do that, you'll want to grab a bracket, just a little 4-pole bracket. It mounts to your hitch. You might need an additional bracket depending on what kind of hitch you have, so that's an option to permanently mount that. I have seen some people just use this little dust cover as kind of connector to the safety chain loops. It works more or less, not exactly the most pretty thing out there, but it will hold your wiring up off the ground, so that's an option as well. We'll get a handful of zip ties to make sure that all our wiring stays nice and secure as we're running our wires around. You want to make sure that it's anchored off. It's not going to be hanging down underneath the vehicle. You want to keep all your wires also away from any kind of moving points like your suspension, and also from anything that's hot like your exhaust, and you don't really want to have it on any pinch points. So make sure that wiring is run in a nice safe spot so that it doesn't get damaged along the way. We will also get a little pad of double-sided tape that's going to hold that control box up in place. If you do find a factory stud or a ground spot and you don't end up needing this little screw, you can use that on that control box. There's a little tab up here, so that's another mounting option as well. And that's pretty much all there is to it as far as that. If you are using this on an SUV and you want to run this outside of your vehicle, some things that I would suggest, even if you're using it on the Frontier, would be getting a heat shrink butt connector to switch out for these two. These are just regular butt connectors. They are insulated, but they don't really provide any kind of water protection. So since those connections are going to be made outside the vehicle, it's a good idea to have a heat shrink butt connector since it's going to be a watertight connector between those two wires. The other part number I had there, It's going to be a silicone gasket maker, so if you're having to run through any grommets, maybe as you're coming out of the vehicle or going into your engine bay, that's going to seal up the hole around there and prevent any kind of exhaust fumes or water from getting into your vehicle. So a couple extra things you might want to pick up while you're here at eTrailer.com. They are available here at eTrailer.com, so if you're interested, grab them up while you're at it. That's pretty much just all that there's to talk about with this wiring. As far as the more specific things, the stop and turn light signal does have 3 amps per circuit, and the brake or the tail lights is going to be 6 amps per circuit. It does come with a 1-year warranty limited from Curt, but should be a relatively straightforward install, get you those 4 wiring functions that I mentioned before, and get you back out on the road. If this doesn't meet your needs, we do have some other options available here at eTrailer.com, including all those other things that I mentioned during the video, so check them out, and thanks for watching.